Do any of you remember Skyroads? No? Well, let me explain now that you're here. So sit down and pay attention, Johnny, as there'll be questions by the end. Skyroads was a simple science fiction 3D platformer developed by the now defunct company Blue Moon Software. It was in fact a reboot of an older version of the game the same company produced several years prior. Looking between the two, not much has been changed in terms of gameplay, but they did mercifully ditch the ear-shattering tone of the ship's engines in the reboot. There is no story to be found within this game, at least to my knowledge. Instead, the sole purpose is for you, the player, to direct the spaceship, or space car seeing as it's on the road, to the end, preferably in one piece. Unfortunately, it's easier said than done. There are 30 levels, each one increasing in some degree of difficulty. Unfortunately, I'm only good at the easy ones. That's because the game ranges from extremely easy to oh my god, fucking run! That being said, it was a game that required you to think rather than blindingly venture forth. There are 4 colour droids you need to keep aware of. You've got the light green tiles, which speed you up, handy in some cases but can also make you go too fast in others. The dark green tiles, which cause your ship to slow down, even to a stop if you stay on them for too long. The light blue tiles that resupply your ship with fuel and O2, sometimes they are vital for you to drive over to finish a level. The grey tiles, which basically make your ship unable to steer. And finally, you have the red tiles, which in my younger years thought were like lava, seeing as you immediately blow up on the first second you touch them. Alongside all of that, there are also many paths you can take, and some can lead to a certain doom, much to your annoyance. Yes, much like many other retro titles, this is indeed a troll game. I'm not kidding either. If you fly down the wrong tunnel, you blow up, and sometimes because the draw distance is so small, by the time you've realised you've missed the correct path, you're screwed as you fly off a dead end. But aside all of that, I still loved this game as a kid. It was challenging, but also somehow very fun to play. The visuals, although not exactly groundbreaking, were sharp enough for you to know exactly what you're flying, or driving over. It's a bit of a shame that the same can't be said about the backgrounds, which look as if they've been directly pulled from a stock photo library and haphazardly pasted behind the levels for a quick filler. I'm looking at you, Earth. Yet, the one element that truly makes this game iconic in my mind is the music. From the starting theme when you boot it up, to the frantic, fast-paced beats that complement the challenging levels, to the slower, relaxed tunes that sound very atmospheric with the space theme, and then there's this absolute tune. Gotta love it. Overall, Skyroads is a game that has unfortunately been lost to time. There have been many recent attempts to recapture its lost magic. Nirvana pilot Yumi claims to be a spiritual successor to Skyroads, yet I disagree. Whereas Skyroads purely focuses on the challenge of navigating a gauntlet of platforms, Nirvana pilot Yumi distracts itself with a lot of visual novel filler, which, in my opinion, goes just as well as Brutal Legends, RPG and RTS combination, but I digress. If you want to give it a shot yourself, it's free to download along with DOSBOX. Trying to input the commands to make it run, however, is an entirely different ballgame and may require you to Google a quick tutorial. I sure had to. Nevertheless, it's definitely a game I highly recommend playing, especially if you're into retro games, or just having a bit of a nostalgia trip. Just don't come complaining to me if you've broken your keyboard from stress.